Namaskar and welcome to Indian Diplomacy, show on Doordarshan, India's national television channel about Indian foreign policy, India's international relations, key strategic partnerships of India, and also friendly countries of India that matter to India and its rise. Viewers, in this episode, we are taking up a very special country, the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is an important player in the Caribbean and the Latin American region, and is enhancing its bilateral cooperation with India on a range of dimensions. So we're talking about India-Dominican Republic relations and also the importance of the Dominican Republic for our viewers. And to discuss this, it's a supreme privilege for me to introduce you to none other than Her Excellency Raquel Peña. She is Honorable Vice President of the Dominican Republic, and she is a noted public figure, politician, educationist, businesswoman, and a very, very well-known and reputed figure in the Western Hemisphere. Madam Vice President, welcome to India, welcome to Indian Diplomacy and Doordarshan.
Muchísimas gracias por invitarme a...
Thank you very much for this visit that I'm coming to India for. The Dominican Republic and India have relations since 25 years, and in this framework we are working between the relations between India and the Dominican Republic. In the last 3 years, we have seen how we have brought our ties closer, ties of cooperation and friendship, for one simple reason. We share values which are very similar, and especially the advancement and the development of all of you has really been remarkable, and we applaud it. But above all, we want to be with you and we would like to share with you, because in a similar way in the Dominican Republic, through the leadership of President Abinader, like you, under the leadership of your Prime Minister and the entire cabinet that is with him, we are making great advancements and contributions, and thus we are continuing to defend human rights, and also we are improving the quality of life of both peoples.
Pero sobre todo, encaminándonos a mejorar la calidad de vida de ambos pueblos.
Excellency, the Dominican Republic is a relatively small country, just around 11 million people, and compared to the big players in Latin America like Brazil or Mexico or Argentina, it's smaller, but still it has a significant impact and influence in your region. So our viewers would like to know what is so special about DR, as people call it, and why has it been punching above its weight, and why has it been so seen as a leader in your region? What is the special quality that your country represents?
The special quality that we can show is very similar to what you are demonstrating, and this, our people and our government has been working in a very strong manner to strengthen democracy in our country. For this reason, in our country, we have a juridical framework which is very credible in the social sphere, in the social welfare sphere, and this differentiates us from other countries in the region. And although we are just 10.7 million people, and there are countries that are very populated, but nevertheless, the basis of all this has been the strengthening every day of our government, and so that every day we can demonstrate this democratic ambience of the Dominican Republic, and also we busy ourselves daily with the management of the economy, our people, and what are social benefits necessary for the most vulnerable, and we occupy ourselves in serving the people so that we can demonstrate and project what the Dominican Republic really is.
Excellency, democracy, human rights, indeed, those bind our two countries. But looking at your region, you are in a neighborhood with a lot of problems, but a very stable country, like an oasis in the desert. You have drug-related violence and organized crime, and coup d'etats and assassinations of leaders, all kinds of things happening. But Dominican Republic stands out as an island of stability and of good governance. And you already mentioned social programs. I noted that in terms of the Gini coefficient, which measures the inequality, it is one of the most equal societies in Latin America, which is exceptional. So would you call your country a kind of a model of good governance, especially on equality and these kind of social issues? You've made a lot of progress, and would you say that it is something that other countries, small islands and developing countries should look at closely as a model?
La responsabilidad nuestra.
Our responsibility is, like I said in the earlier answer, was to safeguard the social welfare of our people, and each day we work, headed by the President Abinader, to guarantee a better quality of life to all the Dominicans, but above all to safeguard human rights of our people, and also to develop us as a country in order to strengthen not only the democracy but also the economy, because each day we can thus offer better sources of employment so that all the Dominicans have a better quality of life within the Dominican Republic.
Dentro de la República Dominicana.
Excellency, talking of the economy, now the ECLAC, Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean, has ranked your country as a #1 destination for foreign direct investment. And that's a lot of competition. There are a lot of countries there, but you've been #1. And you yourself have been an entrepreneur in your career, apart from being in academics and politics. And President Luis Abinader has also emphasized a business-friendly environment in your country. So in terms of the investment climate, what are the reforms or the policies you have undertaken that make DR so attractive for foreign investors? Why is it such a desirable destination for people who want to invest?
The greatest strength of ours is to demonstrate that we have social peace, and also the management of the economy guarantees stability which is macroeconomic, and this is very attractive to foreign investors and also to local investors. And we also have a series of spheres which are very diverse, and the investors can come and have a return which is very favorable. When we talk about the tourism sector, we see that how we have been growing. In 2023, we hope to end the year with 11 million visitors who are tourists, and they are going to visit us in the Dominican Republic. And when we talk about free trade zones, when we talk about industries, we are also diversifying and in different spheres, and the industry has been developing in the Dominican Republic. And all that concerns agriculture, we also have very fertile lands and a suitable climate for the cultivation of an immense quantity of fruits and vegetables, and this makes us very attractive for investment in agriculture, in agro-industry, and this makes us say that we have food security, not only for the Dominican people, but also we have the intention of having great figures of
exportación hacia todo el mundo.
Right, so it's a diversified portfolio, and that is your strength. Excellency, let me bring you to foreign relations and your diplomacy. Historically, Dominican Republic has been more attuned towards neighboring countries in the Caribbean, in Latin America, and to the United States and Western Europe. But you are here in India, and recently our External Affairs Minister was with you in Santo Domingo, and we opened our embassy there. And you also have relations with People's Republic of China and Japan and other Asian countries. So I'd like to know, what is the importance of Asia and particularly India in your foreign policy? Because already you, in terms of geography, you are closer to those countries in the Western Hemisphere. But why? What is the attraction of Asia and India in particular? How is India seen in your country? and what kind of opportunities does India present for your country?
La distancia geográfica.
The distance, the geographical distance cannot be a barrier. And in this case, the Dominican Republic and the Republic of India are bringing their ties closer because there are many opportunities in the Dominican Republic as well as in India. And thus we can share and we can collaborate. You in India have been an example of development, of growth, of research and education.
Investigación, de educación.
We also want, and we have signed various MOUs with all of you in order to acquire this knowledge that you demonstrate. For example, as concerns the pharmaceutical industry, it is very important for us to have Indian investors in this as concerns the pharmaceutical industry, and also open markets.
Todo lo que tiene que ver con la industria farmacéutica, pero también
Thus we'll be able to receive more medicines that you make of such high quality. This is just one example of what we can exchange with all of you. For this reason, distance cannot be a barrier, and especially when we talk about a country like India, where, like us, one works a lot, and one works a lot on the field of human rights of equality, but above all, research and education.
De la igualdad, pero también, sobre todo, de la investigación y de la educación.
This for us is very important, and like I said at the beginning of the interview, sharing these values makes us have a very favorable relation between the two.
Intercambio entre los dos gobiernos.
Excellency, deepening economic cooperation, you already mentioned information technology, pharmaceuticals. India also buys gold from the DR, and we are expanding our own network of partnerships in Latin America. And the fact that we have now decided to open an embassy in your country itself shows that the importance of DR is rising for India. So could you tell our audiences how ordinary people in your country, what do they think about India? What is the perception of India? What is the popular image of India? Now that you're here, I think more people will pay attention to India because of your visit as well.
Claro, mire, para nosotros fue de
Of
mucha
course,
alegría.
for us it was a great source of joy, and we had the honor of participating in the opening of the Indian Embassy in the Dominican Republic, and we maintain a strong communication with the Indian ambassador in the Dominican Republic in order to continue with our work in various spheres which are important, and the Dominicans are also attracted to the practice of yoga, for example. This is a practice that is very popular there, and we have felt the benefits that yoga brings that are not just physical but spiritual and mental. And this really has become very popular in the Dominican Republic, and also as also concerns the gastronomy of India, the Dominican Republic is getting to know more about it and enjoying Indian gastronomy, but many other things as well, and that we share and that we are learning from you. And you have a millenarian culture which is very rich, very spiritual, but above all, that attracts a lot of peace and a lot of tranquility. And the great majority of the world was disoriented a few years ago, but we continue to learn the philosophy of life from the Indians, and this has attracted Dominicans a lot.
Excellency, you are also special because you're only the third woman to become the vice president of your country. And since your formal independence in the early 19th century, you've had many vice presidents, but you're only the third female vice president. And I can say that you're an inspiration to women in politics, in public life, those who want to hold high offices, because there are very few examples, and you are one of them. And I know in Latin America, women look up to you as a role model also. So in India also, we have been having some major reforms. There's a new legislation to increase women's participation in our elected legislatures at the parliament and at the state level. So we hope to increase women's representation in political offices in time to come. So on that front, I'd like you to please tell us what it is that women should look up to when they're planning a career like you and to become like you. You know, people want to be president, vice president, prime minister, foreign minister, defense minister, hold major positions and do it with total finesse. That kind of empowerment of women. What is your message for women of India, women of the world, and how can they be like you?
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. I can answer with two key elements. The first is that we have, through the government, I would like to also congratulate all of you that the fact that you received me in the Parliament of India, and I congratulated you there, and here I have the opportunity of congratulating you publicly because you have approved a law of 33% reservation for women in the government. This really is something that should be praised, and this is an example for the Dominican Republic. And political policies, public policies open the space in such a way that there is a direct influence of women in the public sphere of India as well as the Dominican Republic.
Públicos de lo que es la vida tanto de la India como de la República Dominicana.
Thus, we are fomenting public policies, and I'm the third Vice President of the Dominican Republic, but also I had the honor of meeting and sharing with the President of your country. She is a woman, and I believe she's the second woman President of the Republic of India. So we are on the same path, and we have many things in common that we share. The Indian people and the Dominican people. And the other aspect that we have to work on in order to have a greater presence of women is the equality of women and men in the educational sphere, and also to have this participation in all educational spheres so that women become more educated, more empowered, and we also can follow and become part of the solutions and also part of the future in order to have a more promising future for the population of both our countries.
Para toda la población de nuestros países y, cómo no, del mundo.
Excellency, really this has been an inspiring journey, and we all believe that the relationship between our two countries will go higher thanks to your leadership. Last word, what are the areas you see for future growth of India-Dominican Republic relations? Any particular sectors? I know tourism is big for you, you've already mentioned it. Our hotel industry, our even a growing middle class, 500 million or more people would want to go to the Caribbean and enjoy your sandy beaches and all those things. So we know DR is very attractive, but in terms of visibility and name recognition, it's still not there. People have not traveled as much. So this plus any other sectors you feel, I know you have signed an agreement on marine cooperation, oceanography and all these things. So growth areas, which are the issue areas in which we too can collaborate more in the future?
Claro que sí, en salud.
Of course, in health, we are working a lot on health tourism, and we have much to learn from all of you. You all have advanced a lot in this field, in the health sphere, and we can also emulate it. But like I said earlier, we desire to have more investment of Indians in the Dominican Republic for one simple reason. The geographical location of the Dominican Republic is very privileged, and whoever comes to establish industries there or to do trade does not only have access to 10.7 million people, Dominicans, but also through a series of commercial trade agreements that we have signed, And due to the geographical location that is strategic, we have access to a market of 1,000 million people. This is marvelous. It's a great opportunity for India to be physically from the Dominican Republic influencing this part of the world, not only through trade, but like I said, we also share cultural richness, human resources that you have. There are numerous opportunities and possibilities, and our government, led by President Abinader, and yours, led by your Prime Minister, and the Vice President, and your President, your Foreign Minister, definitely we have a wide spectrum of possibilities to follow. And it doesn't matter the flight distance between our two countries. What I said earlier to the Vice President was that it's the first time that I'm coming to India, but you can be sure that it's not the last time that I'm here in this beautiful country.
Yes, madam, we hope to host you again and again and again in India. Maybe as a president of your country, we hope that you will continue to lead and take your country to the next level. We wish very well for the Dominican Republic, and I think the partnership, the nuts and bolts that you talked about, very important, and we thank you for your leadership for taking this relationship to the next level. Thank you so much for joining us on Doordarshan, and thank you for your visit to India.
Thanks to you. Thank you.
So viewers, the Dominican Republic and India are enhancing cooperation on a range of issues. You heard from none other than Honorable Vice President Raquel Peña about how her leadership gives top priority to India in this region, and how on our side we are also prioritizing the relationship with the Dominican Republic so that we can mutually extract the benefits for both our peoples, but more importantly for India's outreach to the Latin American and Caribbean region. This is Dominican Republic is a very significant vector and a catalyst, and let's keep an eye on India-DR relations, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Until then, take care.